Last one. Woo. Okay, so that's what will happen when you undo the boot lid. Brilliant. Welcome back into another episode. In fact, not just another episode, episode 136. It's 136 videos on these two 928s. Anyway, so in last week's video, you saw me stripping out. What was I doing? I was stripping more metal, wasn't I? I got that the roof stripped right down. I got the rear quarter stripped down. Really good progress. Happy with that. In this video, I'm not going to torture you with watching more stripping. I might do a little bit. But what I'll try to do is I'll make it a little bit more interesting. Different camera angles, maybe a bit of the scenery, maybe some of the autumnal trees in my garden, something like that. Something better than just looking at me grinding metal. Sounds a bit rude actually, but anyway. Also, this week I will be releasing membership. Exciting feature. There's so much going on. There's so much I need to explain and show. I just can't do it on these videos. So what I'm going to do is launch the membership, which you will see a link somewhere around on the channel. In there, I'm going to have exclusive content. I'm going to do much more regular updates, tell you what's going on. There'll be a lot more discussion going on about what I'm thinking with the cars, what direction I'm going, why am I going that direction. It'll also include the big debate about the colour of this car. This is the white one. That's the black one. So yeah, look out for that. It could be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's get in there this week. What I want to try and do is I've got to strip off that last bit of paint. And I want to do something with the rear hatch. The rear hatch needs to come off. I need to get in there and start trying to get it prepped for spray. I've talked to the body shop. They're quite happy with me not completely stripping all the paint out the recesses. That would be hell on earth. I've tried. It's really difficult to get in there, but I don't need to. They said as long as I flat it down, obviously if there's anywhere with rust, I'll have all that out. But when it's just paint, you know, the majority of the paint I've taken off this car has just been nice paint. If it's like that, it's fine, no problem at all. I am going to gut all the paint off of any visible surface, like all the front surfaces, but anything behind rubbers and that, I'm probably going to just sort of flat it down, make sure it's secure, leave it. Anyway, let's dive on in there this week. Please remember to click subscribe, like, comment, leave me those comments, I do like that. The biggest thing you can do to help the channel really is click the like button. YouTube likes that. Anyway, let's get in there and see how I get on. Say that I'm not going to make you watch any more grinding, so I'm going to be good to my word. Well, kind of. I've got that one rear quarter to grind off, so I'm going to get that done this morning. Nice cold Saturday morning, super dry. Get that done, and I can get it back in the garage. Now, a lot of you have asked, why? Wait a minute. I can't expect you to watch crap like that. I got the microphone turned off, haven't I? It's recording from the inbuilt one, which is why you can hear the car all the time. Well, all I'm saying is I'm going to start grinding it, so let's get in there. Right, now the car's back inside with all that nasty paint stripped off. I know it seems a bit crazy what I try and do, but what I wanted to do was get the bulk of the paint off outside in the garden, where the dust doesn't matter, then get it back inside and I can start stripping all these little bits off in my own time kind of thing, and not waiting for dry weather and whatever. So what we're going to do now then is take off the aerial. Now I don't want to damage there's like a nut on there, and I'm hoping I can undo it without ruining it too much. Adjust these open a little bit more. There she goes. Right. Right, it took a bit of extra twisting, but I got it off. I'm still not sure it's supposed to come off that way, but it came off that way, and we should be happy for it. So now I'm expecting this just to drop through. Again, I don't even see how it can. Okay, so the aerial proof is now in my hands. That was a bit of a pain. This is going to be on the scrap heap, so we don't have to worry too much about it. Let's just chuck it in one of the many boxes I've got around. And the great thing, now I can sand that down. I can do all around this window recess, so that's good. And just keep moving on, really. I've been experimenting a bit with how to get the paint off in these recesses. And I've got this old knotted steel wire wheel, I guess you call it. And it's not bad. It's not the be-all and end-all, and it's not going to save me masses of time. But it does get in there quite well. I'll give you a look. You can see I've just stripped along here. It leaves it a little bit rough, so I'll probably have to come and sort of soften it somehow, smooth it over a bit. That thing's brutal. It's slowly taking it off. It's not the final solution that you'd love, but it's taking it off slowly. I'm sure there's something better out there for this, but I mean that's a hell of an aggressive thing. Hoping we can just ease this out, and I don't really want to take it completely out at the moment. I just want to strip the paint off from the inside. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, there's a little bit of rust under there. Yeah, water's obviously run down here. I mean, it's not horrific, but it's obviously, there is some rust on this edge down the side. A little bit of rust at the very bottom, which I'll have to resolve. But where I'm trying to get is the paint out of here. At some point very soon we're going to have to take this tailgate off, if I can say it. And at the same time I'll swap, well straight after I'll swap it for the other one, so that's there. And then I can actually jump this one, this big lump of metal in the way. Right, I'd like to try and swap the tail hatch over, you know, this big metal thing, whatever you want to call it. I've got the spare one over there that I stripped the last week, whenever it was. But what I noticed is one of the little, I don't know what you call it, the metal thing here where the damper goes on has snapped off. It's come out, I've put it back in, and what I need to do is sort of spot weld it in there to hold it in. So I'm going to take it outside, we'll weld it up, and then I'm going to try and get that hatch off and get the new one on. So we'll be welding here, which is where I did all the stripping of the rear hatch, if you remember. I'm going to get bench out. I've just pulled the welder out. I mean, we're talking about 2 spots of weld, so it's not going to be a lot of work. It's really windy today as well. Let's just see how we get on. So you can see where I've really sort of cleaned it up around there. And that is there, something else. I'm just going to put a tack in this side and then on that side. And you can see sort of it still waggles around. Maybe not that visible, but it does. And then I'll Dremel it off just to make it sort of smooth, but it shouldn't be anything too tricky. So you should be able to see 3 little welds on there. And I'll just Dremel them down a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not going to touch it. They're just holding it in place. They're quite nice actually. They should be okay. And yeah, then we can get that painted. Right, with that rear hatch welded, now all I need to do is work out how to get the old hatch off. And you can imagine I haven't looked, but it must come off, right? Okay, I can feel the bolts there. Okay, looks easy. There's some wiring here. Right, it looks like we can unclip the wiring loom here. A little bit of manhandling. Got my fingers really hurt. And then presumably I can now thread that back. So I think it's just those bolts and it should come out. Now they feel, being a bolt expert now, they feel like 13mm to me. I'm no bolt expert, as we know. I usually call a bolt a nut and a nut a bolt, but these are 13mm. What I need to do though is not try and get a socket sitting there and just get a spanner. It is extremely dark down here, I'm afraid. And I'm using my light for something else at the moment, so we'll have to operate in the dark. This, for all the ratchet spanner fans out there, I'm using my 13mm ratchet spanner. Do you know, I'm talking a good talk about 13mm. It may be 12. I find it hard to believe. I'm going to have to get in the car, I think. Well, I'll be. Who would have thought? It's 12mm. Porsche used 12mm. Woo! You're probably wondering what's going to happen when I undo these bolts and the rear hatch shoots up in the air. I'm wondering as well. We're about to find out, I think. I'm still trying to work out what size this is. Right, I brought a light so I can see what is up there. They are Allen bolts. There's number 1, I'm done. Number 2 is not as keen, not gonna lie. I mean, they're just rusted solid basically. I don't think there's a great deal I'm going to be able to do with those anyway. Let's pause for a minute. I need to think of a better strategy than just trying to bust them out like this. This one's not rounded out yet, but it's not looking clever. The only advantage is that I think it's a bolt that goes straight through to the rear hatch. So if I drill it out, the only thing I'm drilling out is the rear hatch, so it doesn't matter, I don't think. I've hit a bit of a problem. The bolts that hold this rear hatch on are completely solid on the driver's side. The two this side, one of them came undone really easy. The other one was rusty, but I just stayed on it with the impact driver and it eventually undid it. On the other side, it's even rustier, and It's just spun these sort of Allen head bolts. So I need to work out how to get those out. I've got options of, I mean, I need to get some penetrating oil in there anyway. So penetrating oil on there. I can, probably where I'm going to go is I'm going to weld something onto it and then sort of undo them. But I've got the headliner in, so I'm trying to get the headliner out now. Now that's always needed to come out because it's warped quite badly at the back. And I've just undone some of the screws, but I'm just now trying to work out where these little press studs are to sort of pop them out and slowly sort of inch it out. But that's where we are. It's gonna come out. It needs to come out. I need to spray it black anyway, so it's just one of those jobs. I'm a little bit slow, hesitant on it because I've heard horror stories about how hard they are to fit. This is a non-sunroof car, so I think it's okay. But leave me a comment if I'm sort of stepping into the unknown and a terrible job. Right, I think I've managed to get unclicked 2 of them. My problem is always light. I can never see what I'm trying to do. I really need to get some proper lighting in here. I mean, not that it's going to help in this situation because it's, you know, it's tucked up, but it's just always a pain. So this is the very stuck sun visor that I think I'm just going to have to force. I think I can unclip it at least. Yeah, there it is. Another one. 3 screws to hold this on, not 2. Take the 3rd screw and it just dropped out, so that's really good. I'll do the other 3rd screw on the other side and then hopefully that will just drop out. And then we're one step closer. And then each of these little sun visor clips have a screw in somewhere. There it is. So let's quickly spin that out. It is as dark in here as it looks on camera, by the way. It is very dark. I've got one light that my arms are covering all the time. But the roof liner is coming out quite easily. And I'd like to get this on the floor and sort of reshape it because it is in a hell of a state. But you can see how keen it is to come down now. And then the last screw on the headliner. Hopefully, oh, come on. I can turn it one way. That's up tight, and then just about the other way. Now the problem is, it undoes so much and then sticks. And I don't want to go brute force at it because I'm just going to round out that head. So I've been going backs and forwards, trying to just sort of convince it that it's okay. Like there. Now just heat it up a little bit. Keep doing that, it should eventually come out. Okay. Ooh. Oh my god, that was hard. There. Right, I suspect I'm pretty close to having that headlining out, so let's give it a waggle and see what happens. It felt like it's potentially just missing one, or has one of those clips still done up. Let's have a quick look. Sort of around the middle here. Yeah. Okay. So definitely it's about to come out. There's one screw that I put in, if you remember, up front there, so let's quickly take that out. I'll give you a quick look at the headlining. So this is it's like a foamy, felty thing that goes above the headliner, and the headliner is here, so hanging down. I managed to get the vanity mirror unclicked, and I just need to pull it out now, really. This should just thread out the back of the car. So let's see how easy this is then. Okay, it's very easy. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a fight to get it out, but it comes out really easy. Okay, no drama there at all. So now I can finally get back to these bolts. If I can get a little bit light on there. There's my light. What I'm going to try and do then is I'm going to heat them up. Minding this headlining, I've taken out the rubber seal, so it should be okay. Heat them up, and then I've got a nut extractor, and I know these aren't nuts here, Allen head bolts, but who knows? It's all I've got. So let's just try heating them up and see if that does anything good. Try not to burn everything down. Getting nice and warm. I'll just do one of them. We'll focus on one. If that comes out, then I know I can get the other. The theory here is that the heat will just stop anything burning. Let's give that a go actually. It's not particularly hot, but I don't want to go burning everything up. There's a hot ember drop down somewhere. There we are. Let's turn it. Again, these nut extractors are awesome. They're these things that the more you turn it, the more it bites in. They're pretty aggressive. Right, look at that, finger tight already. That was that quick. Right, I've not overheated again. Just what I think is enough to give it a bit of enthusiasm. There it is. I'm done. I'll put a link to a set of these nut extractors in the description. They are fantastic. They may not be the exact ones I've got here because I bought these long ago, but just to know what I'm using, I think it's actually quite useful. They are phenomenal. One, and the last one. Whew. Okay, so that's what will happen when you undo the boot lid. Brilliant. I'm not sure what I thought would happen, just undoing it like that. But at least it came off. It wasn't anything too dramatic. I think these dampers actually helped hold it in place, which is quite good. And I keep these dampers because they're actually serviceable, or were serviceable. Probably still going up. One. What I need to remember is to take that lock out because that lock matches my car keys, obviously. Yeah, that makes it easier. Think ahead. Right, okay. Okay. It's quite interesting looking, you can see all the paint just flaking off. There's actually shiny mocha brown underneath here. Oops, sorry. Not that you can see because of the light, but it's interesting. It's good to get that hatch off though. So what I can do now is strip the paint from here all along there because it's very tatty. I talked to the body shop. I don't need to go overkill on the recesses. That's really good. Where I will do is any of these sort of leading edges like this where they've gone a little bit rusty. That's had the rubber seal on. But that's starting to strip down a bit more now. So the boot lid, I'll strip the lock out as I just mentioned, take the wiring loom out because I may need that. And the boot lid can just go sit outside. What I do need is these hinges. I need to recover these hinges. God, they're stiff, I tell you now. So I'll take those off there and put them on the new one. But yeah, it's really good. Pleased with that. Right, I think that's enough destruction for 1 week. Those rear hatch bolts actually came out okay in the end, didn't they? I'm quite pleased with that. Pleased that it didn't all go wrong and I had to get the welder out and things. I do like getting the welder out. I got it out once this video, so no panic. But at least those bolts came out in the end. I'll junk those and obviously get new ones. I still need to strip off the hinges off here. I need to clean those up. They're grubby as hell, so I need to sort those out. But we are making good progress. Now what I can do is concentrate on stripping all the paint out the rear hatch, getting this rear bumper off. Probably next week the bumper will come off. Of course it's stuck on. I've already had a look at that and had to start drilling out one of the screws. Yeah, we're getting good progress now. Looking forward to this, finally sort of stripping it right down. I think what I need to do now, and I've been delaying it, is getting all of the stuff out the car. You know, I've got probably 4 sets of rear seats in there, and a lot of the interior panels, just sort of because I don't know where to store them. But one of you geniuses said about putting it in the attic, and that's where they're going. So I'll start ferrying them upstairs pretty soon. That's where the glass has gone, those rear quarter glasses. Anyway, as I said before, and as I say every week, thank you for watching. Click like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.